All right, folks, welcome back. According to a disturbing new report, Iran is dangerously close to securing weapons-grade uranium. An IAEA probe found Iran has enriched uranium to 84% purity, the highest level yet. This is the fulfillment of the Obama-Ayatollah nuke deal that Obama admitted would see Iran, quote, break out and be a nuclear power within a decade of the deal's inception. For more on this, let's bring in counterterrorism and foreign policy expert, host of the Foreign Desk podcast and editor-in-chief of the Foreign Desk, Lisa Daftari. Also with us is former executive director for Iranian Americans for Liberty and Newsmax columnist Brian Leib. Welcome to you both. You know, the Obama-Ayatollah nuke deal did not require Iran to dismantle any of its nuclear enrichment capabilities, nor did it prohibit them from developing ICBM technology in the interim. Even if President Trump had stayed in the JCPOA, Iran would now be, quote, breaking out, saying that they complied with the Obama-Ayatollah nuke deal. They would have so-called legitimacy. Lisa, what's your take on all this?
It's not like they would have complied anyway, regardless of what the stipulations of the deal were, nor were they transparent or allowing surveillance teams to go in there. So no one's surprised here, right? Deal or no deal, Iran has been marching on with its weapons program, marching on with human rights abuses, marching on in funding billions of dollars worth of terrorism around the globe. And the United States policy right now is so incredibly dangerous and has no desire to stop them from this rampage that they're on. I mean, right now, if the Iranian people didn't bravely come out onto the streets for the last 5 months to tell us that they want regime change, that they don't have basic freedoms, about how brutally their government is cracking down on them, the Biden administration would have no reason to at least back away from the JCPOA, the desire to get back into another deal. They had to at least create some daylight. But behind the scenes, just came back from Washington. I gave a briefing on what's going on in Iran. But meeting with different lawmakers, Washington, D.C. still wants to appease the Ayatollahs. They have no desire to get rid of this regime. They have no desire to punish them or to curb any of their behavior.
Well, Brian, as you know, they're part of this axis of oppression, China, Russia, Iran. So let me ask you, do you think that Team Biden has been asleep at the switch while Iran has been inching ever closer to enriching weapons-grade uranium?
I don't think they've been asleep at the switch. I think they've been enabling what we see happening right now. We're hearing about their 84, 85%, of uranium enrichment. And I think the last number we heard was like 60, 65%. So over the last 24 months, they've gone from 60 to 85% in enrichment. And that's happened on Biden's watch. Maybe not so much because he's asleep at the wheel, although most days he probably is. But it mostly has to do with the fact that they've been doing everything they can to support this regime. And at the end of the day, the Iranians are selling over $1 billion of oil every month to China. We have sanctions and tariffs on the books right now that President Trump enacted that President Biden has chosen not to enforce. That means the Islamic Republic of Iran has gone from, I don't know, $5 billion in international reserves to who knows, $50, $60 billion. So, I mean, of course, they're stronger now today than they ever have been before, and that's because of President Biden.
Well, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Lisa, says Iran attacked one of their oil tankers last week. They're denying it, of course, in Iran. But without the U.S., do you think the world can stand against a Russian and China-backed Iran?
Yeah, that's the issue, because when we start to isolate countries like Russia, like Iran, but don't do it properly, meaning on the face of it, we're sanctioning Iran. We're walking away from the JCPOA. We're saying that we're not going to fully embrace the regime, even though in Washington we know what their policy is. Well, that gives Iran this freedom to go and find even. There's a report by the Israeli defense minister today that says Iran has a list of 50 countries they want to sell weapons to. We already know that they're selling to China and to Russia. Why wouldn't they continue selling? Why wouldn't they continue strengthening themselves and really playing out the clock? They must have a clock in Tehran that says Biden's time left in office, so they can really strengthen their positioning, even though those people are out on the streets, even though they're telling the world. And mostly they're looking to the EU, they're looking to the United States and saying, please support our movement, support regime change. And like Brian and I just connected all the dots for you, there's no reason that this regime should stay in power. The Iranian people are telling us, we're telling you. I mean, global terror will come to an end. I mean, we're going to have more national security here. Our assets will be safer. Israel will be safer, our ally in the region. And of course, Washington and the Biden administration have an entirely different plan and future and vision for Iran's government.
Well, Brian, I want to talk to you about what Joe Biden is doing. He made an unannounced visit to Ukraine today to meet with President Volodymyr Zelensky, pledging an additional $500 million in aid. Newsmax CEO Chris Ruddy breaking this news around 3 o'clock this morning. That man, the guy eats and breathes news. I mean, he broke that news. So what impact will Biden's visit have on the ground there in the actual fighting, do you think?
Well, first of all, what a lot of people don't know about Chris is he started as a journalist, so I'm not shocked that he's the one that broke this news. But let's pivot, to the optics that we're seeing on the screen right now. We have Americans that are struggling to make ends meet. We have poverty that is at record highs. We have Americans in East Palestine, Ohio, that are having a really tough time right now, and they just want some leadership. They're starving for leadership. And we have the President of the United States of America that's going to take a trip halfway across the world to stand with Ukraine. And listen, I support the Ukrainian people. We all support the Ukrainian people against Putin. But at the end of the day, the optics of this are just horrendous. When the American people are just starving for some leadership right now, we have a president that's more interested in being America last on the world stage than being America first and taking care of the American people. It's, again, I guess we shouldn't be shocked. I mean, this is kind of out of his playbook and very typical for President Biden.
Lisa Daftari and Brian Live, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate the time.